Hi, everyone. Welcome to this week's module of Chakra Strong Resilience. Our topic today is physical activity, exercise, and meditation. This is module 10. So next week will be the last module, module 11, and then you guys will have until 11:59 p.m. on December 4th to complete all of your stuff for your 8 out of 11 modules to enter in the drawings. And also don't forget discussion posts equal more drawing entries too. So only those who have all 8 or more submitted by that time are going to be entered in, and then we'll announce the winners sometime during break. Not quite sure when yet. So talking about physical activity, exercise, and meditation, and how that relates to resilience. One of the best things you can do for your brain, because everybody knows that exercise and physical activity are good for your body, right? And they talk about it in addition to like a balanced diet and all of those things, but it's so good for your brain. It sparks those feel-good chemicals in your brain, and it can give you a sense of relief, of joy. You know, people talk about having a runner's high. I don't experience that because running's not my thing. But there are other physical activities, like some people don't like high impact things like that. For some people, it's low impact things like swimming. I'm that person. Or yoga or Pilates or, whatever. For some people, it's something more active, but engaging with another person like tennis. Whatever it is for you, that activity, that exercise, it's one of the best things you can do for your brain, especially in terms of combating anxiety and depression, which a lot of people are struggling with right now. And it's hard to find the motivation sometimes to do those things, especially if you were maybe only mildly active before we landed in the middle of a pandemic, to find the motivation to get up and do those things, like even going for a walk. Or you've got extra time now, maybe because all of your classes are online, or you have less structure to your day, that you could be using that time to be more physically active, but you don't. And you sit on your phone or in front of Netflix or whatever the case, because it's hard, right? It's hard to motivate ourselves sometimes. And with the weather getting colder and it not being as nice out, that doesn't help our motivation either. So it's hard to kind of break that cycle of lack of motivation and then not being physically active and feeling crappy, and then knowing you should be physically active, and round and round and round we go. But one way to get physically active is to engage somebody else, right? To be your support in that. So if it's a friend, if it's a family member, and you can hold each other accountable. And this doesn't have to be, I think people really think big, right? Like, okay, well, I'm going to start doing my recommended, 20, 30 minutes a day, 3 times a week exercise. If you have not been active regularly before that, don't go all out, man. Baby step your way up, especially right now when everything is already overwhelming enough. Maybe just pick one day of the week that's got warmer, nicer weather right now that you're going to use to go outside and take a walk, right? And if you got a friend that's going to partner with you and hold accountable, like be on the phone with them while you're walking, taking a walk, each of you. And, then you're not bored if that's a problem for you with walking. And you've got somebody to support you and for you to support them. And then maybe you do that 2 times a week, and then maybe 3 times. And then maybe you replace one of those walks with something else, like whatever your thing is. I know how important exercise is, and I truly believe in it. And I like to, I don't like to do it. I hate it. I hate exercise. I hate doing it. Absolutely. But I do it because I know it's good for me. Right. And I do feel better afterwards. I really, really do. But it's hard for me to think of exercise activities because I've got very limited ones that I'm interested in. So, but maybe something like jogging or, if you're going to a gym during a less populated time, like treadmill or elliptical, something a little bit more challenging, and just gradually working your way up. And the important thing about incorporating that into your life is routine. And we talk about this a lot in terms of resilience, is building routines and keeping to them, which can be super hard right now because our built-in structures of our work days and school days are all out of whack. But it's even more important now than ever because of that. So make your routine, stick to your routine, have someone that can help you stay accountable, and keep yourself accountable. And if you miss a day because the life happens, fine, but don't let yourself get so derailed that you got to start all over. Missing one day, you missed a day. Missing 2 or more days, you're starting all over. You're putting yourself back to square one. So don't set yourself up for failure is what I'm saying. All right. Which is also the thing with starting small and working your way up, because you're setting yourself up to achieve. And we talked about this last week with goals, right? You're setting yourself up to achieve those small, measurable, attainable goals as you work your way towards a bigger goal. That is a great quote, Em. Thank you. Yeah, if you're a perfectionist, I tend to be that way. You got to let it go. And it's difficult because, man, do we cling to that for a lot of different reasons. But part of being resilient is being flexible. And those of us who are perfectionists tend to be pretty rigid in that way when it comes to wanting things done right or well, and not stopping until there's no stopping point until it's done and it's good enough, right? But with the world we're living in right now, especially, that trait that might have pushed us to exceed or excel and succeed is only going to hurt us now. It's only going to hold us back. So know yourself, know where your pitfalls are, know where your strengths are, and incorporate those. I hate to be cold. So I'm not going to go outside and walk right now. I'm not doing it. But I got an Xbox and I got a workout DVD and I got 2 5-pound weights that I like and a yoga mat. And you know what? That's going to be it for me. I'm going to stay in my climate controlled environment, but I'm still going to do some physical activity. It's a little old school, but I'm okay with that. Also remember that if you're a student, you automatically have a YMCA membership and access to all of their online classes and things as well. So that's available to you like 24/7. And you can pick and choose. You can try new stuff. You can try Zumba from the privacy of your own home without being embarrassed in front of strangers. It's amazing. And you can figure out if it's for you or not without having, to experience that kind of anxiety of trying something new in front of new people. The difference between physical activity and exercise is that when we're talking about exercise, we're talking about that traditional, like you're doing something for your health, you're getting your heart rate up, you're building muscle, like your goal is to make your body and brain healthier, right? When we talk about physical activity, it is just getting your body moving. And this is where, man, if you don't like to exercise and it's totally not your thing, or maybe you've got physical limitations that make it difficult or impossible to do, When we talk about physical activity, we're talking about other things that get your body moving, which is still great for your brain and your body, instead of doing what we all really feel like doing right now, which is wrapping ourselves in a cocoon of blankets and not moving from our couch, right? Cleaning your house, or apartment, or even your room, like top to bottom. Um, Gardening, if you have an area where you can do that. Um, those types of physical activities are really, really good for your brain and your body still, because you're getting yourself moving. You're still getting all those, um, you might not be getting your heart rate up like you intend to for exercise for like aerobic reasons, but if anybody has ever spent more than 1 hour really hustling, or even an hour really hustling to like clean your house or your area, you break a sweat. You're tired when you're done. Especially if you're like carrying laundry baskets, or if you're taking a lot of things off of shelves to like dust or clean or whatever and put them back. I mean, there's a lot of like work that goes on there. Physical activity, like those things, is also super helpful. Even playing physical games. If you know small children, play tag. Probably not in the house. Clear that with their parents first. And don't say like I told you to do that. Like it's totally fine. Because I'm not doing that in my own house. But go outside, play tag with some kids that and have permission to do that with. Or um, you're never too old to swing. I'm going to say this right now. There's a little itty bitty park in our neighborhood that has like 3 swings and like a small piece of playground equipment and one of those little spinny, like, centrifugal force chairs. And that's about it. And my kid loves to go there, and I will sit right next to him and I will swing. Swinging is awesome. You're never too old for it. It's relaxing. It's physical activity. It's movement. You don't even have to stand to do it, though. You get to sit. Swing is where it's at. I'm just saying, get creative with it, because we're in for a long winter with flu season and COVID, and keeping ourselves physically active and healthy is going to be more important than ever. All right, because that boosting your immune system that comes from that also helps protect not only your body but your brain too. When we talk about meditation, a lot of people have this like preconceived pop culture idea of meditation, like sitting crisscross applesauce on the floor, and like it's silent and there's music and there's incense and your eyes are closed and there's like chanting or humming or whatever. Which, I mean, those things certainly can happen in certain places, but there's no um, formula for what meditation has to look like or has to be. So there's a lot of different forms, and you find one that works for you. And it can be, listening to soothing music and having a soothing mantra or phrase that you repeat to yourself with measured breathing, right? And that's fine. That's okay. Some people have the problem, and I'm one of those, that I try to do that and I do okay with it for a little while, like a few minutes, but eventually my mind starts to wander. And the whole thing about meditation is that you're not supposed to let your mind wander. You're supposed to like clear your mind and chill and relax, and just focus on you in that moment. But my mind starts to wander because it never turns off, and I get distracted, and then I ruin the whole thing. So one of the things I like to do is guided meditation. And name drop here, this is also our Self-Care Sunday activity for this month. And that is 2 days from now. It's this Sunday at 3:30 in the afternoon. It is a virtual only event, just kind of like these are, where not me, but we'll have a guest who will be doing some guided meditation exercises. And that's a meditation where you get comfortable, and sit, stand, lay down, don't stand. And close your eyes or focus on a neutral point, whatever the exercise may be, and someone else guides you through that meditation. So they're narrating in the background while you are meditating. And so they guide you through it, and it helps keep you focused and on track and getting the full benefit and effect from it. If you can't make it to Self-Care Sunday this Sunday, or if you don't want to wait and you just want to check out guided meditation, there are a ton of them on YouTube. And, some of them come with relaxing music in the background or sounds. My favorite is like the waves crashing on the beach. That's my relaxing sound. And somebody talking over it and just guiding you through this meditation. And they can be anywhere from, 5-10 minutes to an hour long. And you can pick whatever works for you, or you can have like rain sounds or animal sounds, or maybe you just want like, smooth flowing instrumental music. Don't be afraid to try it. I think a lot of people are hesitant because meditation sounds still to some people kind of like out there and weird. But it's really about, it's not even so much mindfulness as it is just letting yourself be and not having your mind all just crowded and busy, and allowing yourself to take a break. And our brains need quiet. It's incredibly important. Our brains never stop working. So if you are one of those people who has the horribly bad habit of falling asleep with your TV on, I'm going to tell you right now, stop it. That's why you're waking up tired and you're not sleeping well. And B, you're hurting your brain. And you probably can't remember things as well either. Stop sleeping with the TV on. Turn it off before you fall asleep. Your brain never stops working. So even if you fall asleep and that TV is playing, your brain's still processing the sound. Your ears don't stop working because you're asleep. You aren't consciously processing that sound because you're unconscious, but your brain is processing what your ears are hearing. And if it's doing that and it's working, it cannot rest. And the whole point of sleeping is for our brains to rest. And that's when our memories get cataloged and filed away. It's either long-term or short-term. And that's when our brains take care of itself, basically. And which is why we get really wonky when we get sleep deprived, right? Because our brain is overworked. It's tired and it can't function the way it's supposed to. And that's a pretty big deal when it controls literally everything in your body. So when we're doing meditation, having complete silence is helpful. Or if you're someone who is struggles with complete silence, and some people do, just having that simple like white noise kind of static sound or music that you can kind of tune out, so it's not distracting in the background, can allow your brain to rest too. It's, if you're one of those people who sleep with a fan on because you need the noise, that's what I'm talking about. That white noise, that static, there's not a whole lot to process there because it's pretty constant, right? And our brains interpret that differently. So meditation is like a conscious, awake way to give your brain a break. And all of us right now need to be taking care of our brains, need to be giving it breaks as much as we can, because we are overloading it. And then therefore our bodies with stress hormones and nervous or anxious energy and all sorts of not fun, not good stuff. which that helps too. If you're an anxious person and you're someone who fidgets and you have that nervous energy, and maybe at night when you're trying to sleep, it turns into restless leg syndrome, or you're the person who's always bouncing their knee. Um, incorporate some physical activity into your routine and get some of that energy out. Similarly, if you are so overwhelmed that you feel like paralyzed that you can't do anything because there's so much going on, take a brain break and do some guided meditation. Or if you can do it on your own or you're more experienced in it, do that. You know, we gotta be flexible and work with our bodies and listen to them, and not try to force things, because that's only going to backfire and it's not going to help us, and it's going to stress us out even more. So listen to your body. Don't force yourself to start training to run 5Ks when you haven't been physically active in like years. Okay. That's not going to be a good time for anybody. But do challenge yourself with those small little challenges to get moving. It's all about balance. When we talk about all this stuff in terms of resilience, is one thing that helps us be resilient is being physically and mentally able to tolerate stress. And if we aren't managing that stress, or we don't have an outlet for our stress, then we're not going to manage it, very well. It's going to take its toll on us, and we're not going to be able to bounce back from things and be resilient. Things are going to get us down and get us stuck, and that's where we don't want to be. If anyone is at a lack of ideas for how to be physically active while you're home and the weather's getting colder, we actually created a whole resource list for this back in the beginning in March when all of this started. That's on the COVID-19 resources part of the Care Team webpage. And there's a lot of suggestions there. YMCA 360 is on there, but there's other things too. Some YouTube people, there's some really awesome ones to do with kids too. And don't just turn it on for like your kid to do. I mean, to get a break, you can also, we all need it, right? That's fine. But I would encourage you to every now and again actually get up and participate in it and get your body moving. Because that's going to do you a lot of good. And you'll find yourself probably having fun in spite of the fact that you did not want to get up off the couch. There's also a kids yoga on YouTube, and I can't remember what it's called now. It might actually just be called kids yoga. That's very like mindful and soothing, and they're very simple body movements because they're for children, and I'm not coordinated. I'm very clumsy. So that's perfect for me to do instead of maybe like one of the YMCA yoga classes, because I'm going to stress myself out with that because I'm not going to be able to do it. But there's a lot of different things like that on there for all different interests and skill levels. And I encourage you to go check those out and especially try something new or different. I know I hate running, so I'm not going to try that. I'm not going to give it another go. I also have arthritis in my knees, so I know how that's going to turn out. But I've never done Pilates before, ever. Looks cool, seems like it's healthy, and building strength. I'm out of shape, so it might be difficult, but I think I'm going to give it a shot, because why not? I've got the extra time, right? And I don't have to be embarrassed in front of anybody. So I'm going to challenge myself to try something new. And if I don't like it or it doesn't work out, didn't cost me anything, but a little bit of my time. Big deal. Find a partner, again, that You can keep each other accountable and support one another. I can't stress that enough because right now everybody needs support and it's really hard to go at anything alone, especially starting new and healthy habits. It's so hard to start new healthy habits, just like it's hard to break old unhealthy habits. But when you've got support and you've got backup, man, does that make a difference. I would really challenge you to, if you are not an active person, I would challenge you to have the person to support you be someone who is really active, who you know is going to keep you accountable and not just be like, you know what, I'm not feeling it today either. Or if you are the more active person, pull in a friend who's less active and be like, hey man, I'm losing my motivation lately. Like, you want to partner and support me and I'll support you and, help each other out. Looking for opportunities wherever you can find them to get some quiet time in or to get some physical activity in. Look for those opportunities anywhere you can because sometimes we can't carve out like a solid half hour or an hour 3 times a week or every day or whatever. But find those little moments when you can, even just taking 5 minutes to just sit down and be still and be quiet can be very therapeutic and very healing for our brains to just, especially in the middle of a busy day, to just give it a small break. There's no right or wrong way to do any of this. It's just doing what fits you, what fits your skill level, and what helps you feel better and build your resilience at the end of the day. Take it slow, find support, and man, stick to that routine. Nothing says routines can't change either. If you had a morning routine and all of a sudden that you're not gonna be able to do that anymore, switch it to the afternoon, switch it to the evening. Just make sure you're consistent with what you switch it to. Don't think that you have to completely abandon a routine because there's been a hiccup, right? Flexibility is hand in hand with resilience. You do have your, obviously, worksheets this week and the discussion posts, just like every week on Blackboard. But again, I'd challenge you to check out either the resources we have listed on the COVID-19 resource page of Care Team's website, or some of those activities on YouTube, like a guided meditation, or a kids yoga, or there are even videos that are just like, they're not even like an established routine or like yoga or dance or anything like that, but it's just getting your body moving, and it's just body movements, even stretching, like getting up and doing different stretches gets your body moving. It's being kind to yourself doesn't have to be asking a lot of yourself, right? I would challenge you to like get outside of your comfort zone and try one or two of those activities. Write a discussion post about that and get yourself an extra entry into the drawings for the $500 book scholarship and the Shocker swag bag. If you know anyone that used to be really physically active and maybe isn't now, and has become withdrawn or just less engaged than they used to be, and you're worried or concerned, submit a care report at wichita.edu/care, and we'll check in on them and see how they're doing. We've been seeing that a lot right now, and it's pandemic life. What can we say? We all got to support each other and roll with it, and we each need someone from our community or from our bubble to kind of, pull us out of the place we're stuck in if we do get stuck. And giving ourselves that grace to be stuck and to be rescued from it is really important, because you don't have to be like tough and get through all of this on your own. That's not healthy. And you don't have to act like nothing's wrong, because stuff's wrong. But if we're going to persevere through it, we can acknowledge it and accept help and do better for ourselves, right? So that it doesn't keep us there. So if you or someone you know is kind of struggling with that lack of motivation, or really just lack of interest in anything, or a decreased interest in physical activity, or really decreased energy level, reach out to us. We are here to help, and we got a lot of stuff we can do for you guys. So thank you for joining us this week. Next week, Thursday at 3:30 is module 11, and that is our last one, Savoring Life's Joys. And I can't wait to end on that happy note with you guys. So I will see you then. Take care and have a good weekend. Thank you.